Already, the NBA play-in will wrap up on Friday, and then after that on Saturday, the NBA first round of the playoffs will begin. And I'm excited to get into all 8 of the matchups that we have in what is probably going to be one of the more entertaining first rounds that I've seen in the NBA since I've covered it. There's so many good matchups that we have here. And we're going to start on the Western Conference, and I'm just going to give my prediction of who I think wins the series through all of these. And we're going to start with the Oklahoma City Thunder that are either going to play the winner of the 8 seed game in the Kings or the Pelicans. I thought the Warriors would be in this position. Obviously, props to the Kings. They proved some people wrong. They dethroned them. It was a home game for them. And I think that most likely, with Zion not playing in that game against the Kings, I'm pretty sure that the Thunder will get the Kings. And it's not an easy matchup for the Thunder. Not an easy matchup. That's why I think this series goes to 6 games. I think the Thunder get out of it, win the series in 6. So a 4-2 run out for the series. I just think that maybe if you were the Kings, if you had Malik Monk still, Kevin Huerter, if you had that a little bit more depth, I think you'd be able to take down this young Oklahoma City Thunder team. But, I mean, I know they're young, but there's a reason that they are the 1 seed, and I think that they're going to be able to get out of this in 6. So I'll take the Oklahoma City Thunder going to the second round. Next series we have the Nuggets and the Lakers. I did a separate video going through the ins and outs of what I think this playoff series will be. And I think that up front, a lot of people would think it would maybe be a sweep in the favor of the Nuggets, some shorter than that. I think it's going to be more of a competitive series than we think. The Lakers actually match up pretty well with the Nuggets. They just struggle to close the games against them. But I do have Denver in 6. I think that there's routes to where the Lakers could be competitive in this series, and they could get to a 7 and maybe pull it off, but it would have to be unbelievable play from guys like D'Lo and other bench guys for them. But as of right now, from what I've seen throughout the history of these teams playing, I have no other choice but to take the Nuggets in 6 games. Going to the next series, we have a very interesting one, in my opinion, in Minnesota versus Phoenix. And you kind of have a tale of 2 stories here within this matchup. You have one team that just really hasn't had much play. They've been in the postseason a few times. Like Ant's been in the postseason. Karl-Anthony Towns been in the postseason. Obviously, they have the veteran presence of a guy like Mike Conley now, who's made some runs, went to a conference finals once, but no deep experience from the big stars that they have. Then you have a team in Phoenix where you have Kevin Durant, who's won titles. You have Devin Booker, who's been to a finals. And I just think that the experience of Phoenix, and I think that KD has more to give. I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on him going into this postseason. I know they've been inconsistent, but I think Phoenix gets it done in 7. I think it's going to be a brutal series. I think there's going to be moments where you feel like Minnesota has it. There might be moments where it's a clear cut that Phoenix has it, but they give it away or something. But I think that Phoenix will be able to hold on and take this very close series in 7. Going on to what I think is the best series in the postseason round 1, the Clippers versus the Mavericks. Obviously, this is the trilogy. They faced off in the bubble. They faced off, I believe, the year after the bubble. Both were narrow victories. One of them was like a game 6, and the other one was a game 7, but both narrow victories by the Clippers. And I think that this is a series that's going to go really back and forth, but the Mavericks have just been playing unbelievable basketball as of late, to the point where it's really tough to bet against them. And Kawhi has been dealing with some on and off knee injuries. That's never a good sign for the Clippers when one of their guys, they seem to just never be able to stay healthy. So I'm going to take the Mavericks in 7, but I think going to be a really entertaining series. You have guys like James Harden going up against Kyrie. It's going to be a really fun series to watch. I think it's the series of the first round, but I got to take Dallas in 7 in this series. Then if we move on to the Eastern Conference, we have the Boston Celtics, who will go up either against Miami or Chicago. I almost guarantee, there are no guarantees in sports, but nearly guarantee Miami finds a way to beat Chicago and they get into the series. Obviously, this is going to be a 3-year in a row matchup that Boston and Miami have had. The previous 2 years, it was in the conference finals. They went 1-1 in it. Now you have Boston and Miami in the first round. And I think Boston is really tooled to beat a team like Miami. You bring in guys like Drew Holiday, Porzingis, a bigger presence. I think they get this in 6. Miami regressed clearly a little bit. In a lot of ways, they're the same team, but whereas Miami regressed, Boston got better. And I think Boston has showed in the regular season they've been really good. So I got to take them in 6 in this series. Next, it's going to be a very interesting series between the Knicks and the 76ers. And this is one that I'm really excited about as well, where you have a 76ers team that probably should be in the 2 slot, but Embiid was hurt for the majority of the year. You have a Knicks team that probably shouldn't be where they are. Obviously, they're facing Julius Randle being out for the season, their number 2 guy pretty much. And I think Jalen Brunson has played incredible. I think he's done so many good things for the Knicks. He's been the true star that they've been looking for years. He just needs more help, and I think he's not going to have enough against this. It's a somewhat really sound 76ers team, so that's why I think it goes the distance. But I think the Sixers get it in 7 just because you have Joel Embiid. They got Maxey. Batum played really well tonight against Miami. You just got a lot of guys. For Kyle Lowry wasn't a pretty decent addition for him, to be honest, and that's why I think they take it in 7. One of the next series, the Bucks versus the Pacers, I think one of the quicker series. It'll go down as in the postseason. Pacers have kind of been struggling as of late. The Bucks, although they've been really inconsistent, I just don't see a way where they fall to the Pacers in the first round. I think Dame turns it on a little bit. Giannis obviously has been known to be pretty decent in the postseason, but obviously we don't know the extent of how much he's going to play. I think there was a report that he might miss game 1 and 2. I still think they're good because if you look at all the other pieces on this team, so I think even if he doesn't play the first 2 games, I still think he's good. I got the Bucks in 5. Is there a route where the Pacers get hot early and they take the first 2 the games where Giannis isn't there? Yeah, I don't really see it. Like the Bucks, they still got Dame there. Pacers just have not been playing that great as of late since Halliburton came back from the injury. I like the Bucks in 5. Then we go to the last matchup, the Cavs versus the Magic, and I think that the Magic have had an incredible year, but I will take the Cavs in this series 4-2. I don't think either of these teams can beat Boston in round 2, but we'll get to that next week. But I think the Cavs, believe it or not, have a little bit more experience than the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic, really young team. Paulo Banchero, really good player. He's not talked about enough. He's been really good. But I just think that the Cavs, they've been to the postseason. They had to lose to the Knicks last year, and they went on a really good run at one point of the season. They've been reeling as of late, but I think with having home court advantage, I think that they get this done in 6, and that's going to do it for my first round predictions. Let me know what you think. I'm excited. I'm for some of these. I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be just a really, really intense first round, and I think it's going to be really telling for the rest of the playoffs. So yeah, I'm excited. Get your popcorn and watch these games.